Physicists discover a second layer of information hidden in our human DNA. DNA is fascinating, and we stand to learn so much about who we are, where we came from, and what we're capable of, biologically speaking, from the study. Our capabilities, in particular, have yet to be studied in depth by a mainstream scientific community. Yet, the study of phenomena like placebo effect, distant healing, telepathy, and the physical impacts of human intention, not to mention the mind-body connection, has yielded statistically significant results which have been available in reputable peer-reviewed journals for decades. How does this relate to DNA? Well, there are many codes in our DNA that scientists have yet to crack. Parts of our DNA, for example, have no known biological function, or at least we have yet to discover them. Maybe they have been spiritual applications or are connected to the non-physical realm in some way. These seemingly useless DNA are referred to as junk DNA or non-coding DNA, but we are learning more about them each day, as Scientific American reports, so the label is not entirely accurate. So we may think we know a lot, but the things we think we know and hold to be true are always changing. Science was no less valid up to 50 years ago than it is today, but theories have changed because we have learned more. And our knowledge of DNA has just changed again, as physicists have confirmed that there is a second layer of information hidden in our DNA, meaning that there is more than one way that DNA mutations can affect us. The way DNA folds plays a role in controlling which genes are expressed inside of our bodies. When it comes to biology, we're taught that DNA makes us who we are through a sequence of letters, and these codes would then determine which proteins to make in order to produce the necessary result. For example, there's a code for a protein that will make your skin brown or your eyes black, etc. All of this is determined by the way DNA is folded. Since the DNA in our body is extremely long, spanning the length of up to 2 meters, it has to be wrapped and folded in a certain way to fit inside of our bodies. Scientists have known for a long time that the way it's wrapped and folded determines what proteins are expressed. Right now, biologists are currently working on isolating mechanical cues that determine how DNA is folded, which is influenced by a number of environmental factors and other concepts like epigenetics. Even the way we think and perceive the environment, how we feel, and what we believe can shape our DNA. Yes, even our feelings, even our anxiety, and how we feel can shape our DNA. Some of these mechanical cues have been identified by a group of scientists at Leiden University in the Netherlands, led by Helmut Schiessel. They were, as Science Alert explains, able to show that these cues affecting how the DNA was folded and which proteins are expressed further evidence that the mechanics of DNA are written into our DNA, and they are just as important as in our evolution as the code itself. The discovery suggests that one day we may be able to manipulate the mechanisms that determine the way DNA is folded in order to hide certain genes and produce deadly disease. Now, is the genetic tweaking of humans on its way already here? Genetic manipulation is already occurring, and in fact, we recently published an article about the first human being to have their DNA manipulated to make their white blood cells 20 years younger. And all my research, the writer says, into black budget programs suggests that human genetic engineering is already happening to further militaristic agendas. The evidence for the existence of multiple super soldier programs and other equally frightening projects is compelling, but it's a discussion for another article, as is the black budget topic that's linked. Now today it's hard to know what's real and what's not, and it's unfortunate that it takes a mainstream media outlet to acknowledge something before the masses consider it to be real. It's a tremendous amount of power to hold, and we know the media has been corrupted by financial, corporate, and other elitist agendas. Now, it really is fascinating to imagine that we may be capable of perhaps one day we will be able to eradicate all disease by learning how to manipulate our genetics turning certain genes on and others off, even discovering new ones? What if there is already an intelligent extraterrestrial civilization out there somewhere in the universe which has learned to tweak their DNA so they can live for thousands of years? The future of genetic manipulation holds endless possibilities, and while many people worry about the consequences of us playing God, I argue that perhaps these types of discoveries were just waiting there for us to stumble upon, and our natural progression towards these discoveries was all part of the plan, if there is one, perhaps we created ourselves. One thing is for certain though, as with any new discovery, it does not matter what we find or what technology we develop, it's the consciousness and intention behind how we use this knowledge that matters. Our history of innovation has been consistently marred by violence and misuse of power, so I can only hope that we're approaching a more peaceful era at this stage of our development. And this was originally from phys.org, and it's here on Blended Reality, from Collective Evolution by Arjun Walia. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.